Hey everyone, welcome back to Anyox Revisited. So here we are, we're back to Anyox again. Last time we were here for a week with Kevin, then he had to go back to work, and not being married anymore makes it a lot easier to get in here and spend as much time as you want. So here I'm just here all by myself, and there's a bunch of things that really kind of bugged me that we never got to. So this was one, this tunnel. Kevin didn't want to go any further because he was worried about the water that was getting higher and higher. I'm not concerned about that. There's not as much water, but there's probably going to be some big dams that we need to break, which is no problem because I got my mattock with me, and there was a great big huge steel, something gray up there, and it really bugged me. I couldn't tell what it was, so we'll definitely get back there, and we'll show you a bunch of stuff we never got to see. There's also a lot of rope work that I want to do when I'm here. I've got all my ropes and my climbing gear, so we'll climb down places that we never went to before, and hopefully, you know, that's a lot of effort to get in here. You know, it's 23 hours or something one way to get here, including, you know, a couple hours on the boat both ways. Long drive, but hopefully it'll be worth it. I'm sure it will be. And we'll go further up there and see what we can show you.
Running out and the using live day, streets infected and crawled in the slime. The neon nightmare is about to unwind.
Welcome to Antioch. This is the first thing you see as you're coming into Antioch there. This is the coke plant with a big stacking behind it. The only way to get to Antioch is by boat, unless you take a float plane. It's about a 2-hour boat ride, or longer, depends on where you come from. And there's the general store in the bay there. Just a beautiful calm day. Usually it's pouring rain, but you try to take the pictures when it's nice. And there's the barge where we tap the boat. Well, a big change from last time. Last time, you know, there was way more water in here. You can see how high it was on the ribs there. So this is a tool. I got a kind of a little cool tool that I brought from firefighting from at home. So that's going to help break those dams out. So yeah, way less water than there was in here. And we'll just kind of walk along here and show you. This is as far as we got last time, I believe. Pretty soft in here, but I got my chest waders now too, so that's really handy. I can work all the way up to my armpits here before I get wet now, so hopefully we won't have to do that. There's that big dam that we're going to break that Kevin was scared to break. Yeah, that's as far as I got. Well, this should be fun. A lot of mud on the floor. I mean, we're down to our knees just in the mud here. I'm going to break it and then kind of stand aside to weather the storm, sort of. A fair bit of water there. You can see that bin up there. Other parts just like really soft. There we are, Kevin. See, nothing to worry about. So we'll continue on and break that next dam. So as you can see, that is not a steel. It wasn't made out of steel. We thought it was a steel box of some type. There was an air door there. Yeah, pretty good sized dam there. One thing about it makes it kind of pretty safe is these. It's definitely going up at an angle. So you got about a 2% angle. So all things being equal, this would be draining itself if it wasn't for these dams. So it's not like we're going to get flooded out here or nothing. The water's dropping pretty slow on this side, so that looks like it might even be the last dam. On top, it's hard. A little island here. A little bit of a crack here. Maybe the softer part of it. But, you know, the water's not looking much deeper as we go back. It's slowly dropping down, as you can see. So it'll take a while for this part to drain out. This last section, there was a lot of water that came out of it because it ran for a long time. But it dropped it down a lot too, so, you know, say about half the water's gone now, so it shouldn't take too much longer to drop it down quite a bit more. And I'm not really worried about any kind of a big dam all of a sudden flooding me out of here. Should be just fine. For sure there's been nobody in here for a long time. There's no doubt about that. So we're quite a ways back, so we found a Y here, about 500 meters, pretty deep in water. We're up to, well, I guess up to our crotch in water. It's not too bad. Look how much it's dropped down. All of a sudden we got this wide spot here, and there was a lot of water in this last part, so it's taken a long time for it to go down, so I didn't want to sit around here and wait forever, so I started going up. I mean, you know, big deal. Like a chest waders are up to here, so no big deal walking in a little bit of water. So yeah, so it's kind of exciting. We've got this big Y here, and we'll see what happens next. Come to Papa. There's a few places a guy can hide, see, if all of a sudden the water come up real quick. But I can swim too, so. I don't think it's likely thing, because look how much water's gone already. And it carries on. It sure dropped a lot. It would have been impossible to get in here without dropping all this water down. And we just continue on, then it looks like this dam was actually held back from this side. See, it's dropping lower on that way, so we're thinking that's probably going to go to the pit. We'll leave our pack here. This is a real cool pack. It's a waterproof pack, you know, and it really helps protect your camera from muck and everything else. Mud and muck. Yeah, we see some interesting stuff in there. There's a little cubby hole there. Looks like there's something there. I feel quite a bit of wind in here too, so. Oh, look, I can see the outside there. Oh, isn't that awesome? Yeah. So I bet you we're right up on top of that pit, one of them big frickin' caves that we couldn't get into. When I was flying around on the drone, wasn't able to get into them. So it's quite deep in here. Lots of this, I don't know what this material is called. Mud, I guess. It seems to be all draining out pretty good. Sloughing down a little bit and it's all draining out. So I'm going to say by the time in the next day or two when we're in here, it's definitely going to make it a lot easier to get around in here. A little bit of sulfury smell, which I hadn't really noticed before. Yeah, so we're underneath the big ore chute here. Now what's going on? I'm going the other way here. Oh, there's a whole bunch of workings in there. A whole bunch more water. That'd be cool if we could get out. Have a look out through that hole and see what we can see. Yeah, this will all drain. It just takes time. Once you get these dams busted out of here, everything will drain. At the end of our first day, the rain kind of let up, and so I figured I would fly the drone around there. So just kind of having a little bit look around the bay here, and this is the big slag pile there where they're loading slag out today. So Just so happens that there's a barge there loading slag today, so we're going to show you how this operation works here. Basically, there's just a system of conveyors and stuff that feeds. In this case, it's screen slag that has all the dirty material moved out of it, pieces of wood and metal or whatever it's in there. So you use 3 loaders, and they're about 5 tons a scoop or whatever. So it takes 1,600 buckets to load 8,000 tons. Kind of significant a little bit because the output of the mine, they actually mined about 8,500 tons a day. So huge amount of material. So with 3 loaders going 12 hours without stopping, that's 8,000 tons. So it just gives you an idea how much material was actually mined out of this mine during the time it was there. Even with with modern equipment and stuff, it's a big job for 3 guys in one day to move that much material. So it's kind of interesting there. I didn't notice that when I was on the ground there, but as we come over there, it looks like a magnet there to pick up any metal stuff. And I should ask Lyle for have a look at his collection of metal stuff they pull out of there. I imagine they probably find some pretty cool stuff in that magnet there, because it's just kind of like a garbage dump back in the day. Slag was just junk. The miners are just amazed that people are actually mining slag out of there. It's been a real surprise to them, I'm sure. So the conveyor just kind of drops down here, and the reason you'll see a big drop here as it gets to the barge is because of the tides. We have there's a 24-foot drop in the tides, so for that conveyor, it's got to go up and down and not be affected by the tide, which moves pretty fast there. So that's why it drops down to that hopper. As the tide comes up, it's not much of a drop. And so the tug is just a beautiful machine. They took me for a little tour. I actually got to go on it. And this, it's just spotless. They just spit and polish that thing. It's a little older tug. I think in 1984, I think it was. And it was a real treat there to have a look around. And there's the engine. I mean, like, it's all chrome, the heads and everything, shined right up. And look at the winch on it. Just massive winch on that thing to pull a hook onto the barge. So the tug just kind of pushes the barge around to keep it centered and, to help it loading. They've got to load, the front's got to be quite a bit higher, otherwise it won't tow properly. It kind of digs into the water, so it's got to sit up a little bit, kind of like a sled when you're pulling it along the water. So, those guys are there, and they're just keeping an eye on everything and moving it around a little bit, and that's basically how they load the slag onto those barges. So they make asphalt and roofing material and stuff out of it, and for sandblasting. Yeah, we're just above the swamp here. And pretty good waterfall here. If you look in the distance in the swamp, you can see there's actually still power poles standing there. So we're kind of curious to follow those. I don't know what would be the best way to go. Pretty good drop here. Falls here. And this is Hidden Creek. Looking down there. So. No, we're not going to be climbing down there with a rope. So we know the crusher's on the other side. So we think actually we might actually wander down to the bottom and then cross the creek and then try to take the road up where the power line goes across the swamp. We're on our way up Hidden Creek, and kind of interesting, they blasted a hole through there and the water came. So originally the water didn't come through this way, it must have come around there. Not sure why they would have done that. Easy walking along the creek, easier than walking through the thick bush. Pretty thick just about everywhere here. It's nice when you get into some big gold woods and then briefly don't have to push through the bush. There's a lot of work walking around this country. Yeah, making my way through this swamp here, which actually isn't that bad. It's easier walking through the swamp even though it's a little muddy. A little wet than going through the bush. So here, this is this power line that we saw from the air. So we tried to follow this power line. There was a road here that was made out of plank boards, but it burnt up in the fire of '43. So our idea was to follow this power line to the crusher, which actually isn't very far. Yeah, it's actually a lot easier standing right on the road where the power line is. It's a lot easier walking through the swamp than I would have expected. Probably to walk from the very bottom to the crusher, maybe walking through the swamp is the very easiest way of doing it. Because everything is just so thick and steep in every other place to try to get around it all. So yeah, so they must have pushed a bunch of stuff from the mine down to try and make a road here on the edge of the swamp. So it's really easy walking. Part of the other reason is a lot of this the acid rock here just calcified, and so you can just walk on this and it's just beautiful, nice and hard, easy walking. The easiest walking we did all day since we left the bunkhouse. Alright, so we're standing in front of the crusher at it here. Soaking wet as per usual. It's rained every day since I've been here. Very humid here, so when you're walking through the jungle, you just get wet from all the stuff. Soaked all the time, sweat, humidity. It's all fun though, I guess. I never bring any water with me. I guess we're drinking up beer at the end of the day that I stay hydrated. So we're going to put a climbing rig on, and the plan is to go inside the crusher. We want to go down below the crusher where the ore goes down and see if we can get to the level where the trains load the ore out. It's probably going to be flooded, but it's worth a try, so we'll see how we make out. Alright, so now we put a nice dry shirt on, taking some more wet clothes off, and got our climbing rigging on, and we're going to go into the mine. So here's what the plan is. This is in one of the other episodes, I can't remember which one, we went in here and we documented the big crusher. There's a huge crusher here. I don't know how it is. It's huge. It's a massive crusher. And what they did is they crushed the rock, the oversized rock, and then they sent it down to the 150 level, which is the main level where the trains hauled all the ore out of the mine. So the bottom of the 150 level is plugged off. There's water running out of there, but it's plugged off. You can't get in that way. So the plan is to go down one of these ore passes and see if we can access the 150 level. It's probably going to be flooded, but what the hell, we'll give it a try anyways, and we'll see what we can find. Well, this is a crusher here. This is kind of more detailed exploration of it in another video that we already shot, so we're not going to go back up there again, but I just wanted to show you. This is actually the outfeed part of the crusher here. We're after it's only the material that was over 8 inches that got sent to the crusher. Smaller stuff just went right to the trains. They bypassed it, so be careful because we're on a false floor here. But yeah, so it goes down after it goes through the crusher. It goes down there. And I could go down there, but it's gonna be tough getting back up, just because it's much of a hole. It's straight up and down. So being here by myself, I'm always looking for one of these light bulbs that says stolen on it. I've never seen any, but they just look like all normal light bulbs to me. But yeah, so we got 2 options. The first one didn't go anywhere. The second one didn't look that good. Looked like it was blocked. And we just got our ropes rigged up here. So I don't know. So you rigged it up to 2 places in case one of these timbers, were to fail. You never know. Kind of funny, I was telling someone about my explorations and stuff that I was doing in here by myself, and he says to me, "You're not married, are you?" I said to him, "Well, not anymore." Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna hop on this rope here and head down there and see what we can find. Or I can find. I guess there's no we here today. Yeah, so no issue coming down. A little steep, wasn't too bad. The reason I went a little trickier around that plank is because I didn't want the rope to get cut on that sharp rock. So it's going to make it a little trickier getting out because of that. But it'll be safer, so if that rope were to be cut, I don't know how the hell I'd get out of here. And we could be here for quite a while. So, yeah, so we have to look after our rope if we want to get out. So, unfortunately, the situation is pretty much as I expected. The 150 level, which is the main level that the trains hauled everything out of, is flooded. So, that ore pass, I think, is coming down from the crusher, yeah. Yep. We're looking down above the crusher, straight up there. Could probably climb along there if it's safe. I don't think I'd slide down there. Probably be all right. let's get a shot from the bottom of the crusher up that ore pass. Since we climbed all the way down here. For nothing anyways. That's as far as I need to go, I guess. Just a couple, it's the bottom of the crusher just going up. I don't want to end up in the soup here, it's pretty steep. Pretty nasty to get out of here. I'm already cold and wet enough as it is. So don't need a bath to top it off. One thing that really helps you navigate these steep things is you hold on to the back. And that really helps you. It's steep like that. You can stand up and hold on to the back and then you're fine. But yeah, you don't want to be pretty nasty to fall down into there. I'm sure you can get out, but be cold and wet. Wouldn't be much fun. Then you still got to climb out of here. Yeah, one other last one we should check is this one here, and I'm pretty sure it's flooded too, but we do that, and we've checked every possible way down from to the 150, so well as well, we'll check that one. Now, like I say, I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but we'll have a look. I'm just inside the portal here. So we're back in the 630 level here at Anyox, and besides just being nosy and snooping around here, there is actually a purpose for us to be in here. So here is a bat monitor that we're putting in today. So there's an organization called Bat Caver that I work with, and we put these monitors in, and the way that works is it any ultrasonic frequencies that bats emit when they come in here, it'll log that for up to about 6 months. And the other little white thing is a moisture monitor. So the reason we picked this location is it's pretty noisy in this mine. You can see there's an outside exit way out there, so there's not too far to get out. We haven't made it out that one yet because it's we've got to drain some more water. But this is a main hoist level here, and so there's quite a few tunnels coming off of here, branches, different ways to get into here, and the hoist level goes straight down and straight up. So I was thinking, well, if bats are looking for a good place to hibernate, I figured this might be a good location, and so we've got the bat monitor pointed at the hoist here, so they can hear any bats that are navigating that the hoist. So we're in a little kind of a lunchroom, I guess, or break room. And I found kind of an interesting sign there. I'm not sure what it says. It says, please put, says something, and it's in this can, so maybe. And then the other thing that was kind of cool we found is this miner's lamp. Not in very good shape, really rusty. Just fall apart, just what we touched. Like, oh, just like that, my museum at home. So we'll just leave this right here. So we said we wouldn't take anything. All right, so we made it to the other side of the pit. Yeah, there's a little opening here. And some of the things I recognized from the first time we were in here, that big boulder was, there was a little hole there I tried to get through, but I couldn't get up in there. And yeah, so we've been out those two holes there, the bottom one and the top one. And that's where we filmed the drone footage from. So I don't want to get too close to this edge. It looks kind of unstable, so I'm not really sure, but covered a couple things just right in here. There's a little bit of stuff that we had to drain to get into this part. It wasn't too bad. We were up in here the other day, but it was too wet to proceed past that door. We came in that door. See how much the water's dropped already? We drained it out quite a bit here, making it easier. And so this, I was kind of wondering what was in behind this door, so we had to pry it open and have a look in there. It was pretty cool. I'll show you. There's a new ore pass that went down here. We're not using it anymore. You can walk out. Be down in there. Looks like you could walk right in there. Looks like there's like a path that corkscrews down into there. I'm not sure how safe that may be, but well, I climbed up that ore chute, and as probably most of my American friends notice, if I'm just by myself, I don't say hey. It's only when you're with someone and you're saying, "Isn't that cool?" Eh? You know, so it's like a question, right? Something that demands an answer, maybe. Or, right. Anyways, pretty cool, eh? We're hoping that we're going to show you around some of this. I haven't been up in all of it. I hope I can find the top of that hoist. That would be really cool. We'll have a look up there and I'll show you what we can find there. So there's all kinds of little holes and I've been. So we're going to head up into that one and just see if we can get further up here. Yeah, so another thing that I thought was kind of interesting is there's all these turds here. I don't know what they'd be. They're really hard. There's no way a deer could get in here. I thought they're actually, they're so hard I thought they're rock, but I noticed I can crunch one. See, there's one right there. So they're just dried. So I wonder if those could possibly be mountain sheep if they're in this area. There's no way a deer could get in here. And possibly maybe a goat or a sheep or something could. That'd be pretty damn agile, but they are, so. I mean, up that trail, way more agile than I am. Oh, we're gonna continue making our way along this trail here. Pretty colorful in here. Lots of sulfides. Tracks you're seeing here are mine. I was here the other day, but I didn't have my camera, so I didn't go very far up because I knew I was going to have to come back and film this because it just keeps going up further and further. Really quite colorful in here. There's some really rich ore here too, or looks rich to me. I keep telling everyone I'm not a miner, but I should say I'm not a prospector, maybe. Miners just take the ore out. Prospectors are the ones that actually find stuff and they know what the different types of minerals are. So I'm closer to being a miner than I'm a prospector, I guess. Now I'm gonna have to be part of goat if I'm gonna keep filming. Oh, keep filming. Not end up falling somewhere. A lot of this stuff is really slimy. Look at that green slime. Icicles green. Oh, this stuff's pretty slippery. Interesting, I've never seen green icicles before. Some more passes and stuff there. I'm gonna try to climb up. Really be cool if we could find the top of that hoist level. I had a look at that yesterday. It was just a raise, I think, that stops. That's what I'm thinking of. But I haven't been up this way. So I'll see if what we can see up here. I'm sure if the goats got in here, I can get in. I can get out, right? Yeah, those goats that clamber across there, they wouldn't do shit. I wouldn't. Yeah, there's more of those green icicles. Look up there. See all this material that's on here? See how it's real kind of crumbly red material? That's what's causing all those dams, all that silt is ending up down in the mine and causing all that. It's pretty unstable here, you know. Shouldn't be standing here, really. That looks interesting, almost like a green crystal, eh? Getting harder. Give it a smack. Like a calcium type of a... Yeah, that was pretty nice too. Take a sample here. Big pillar there, we'll just head up this way and see, hopefully we can get up to another level. So we really can't go across that way since I'm not a goat. I'm a very stable up there. It looks like there's a level up there. And there's a hole right there. So, that's a little tricky. But, you know, if a guy fell off of this part, it doesn't seem that bad. Should be able to stop yourself on that part. I think I can get up there. I think I can just use my mattock and I'll just kind of carve some stairs, if nothing else. Just take my time and take some of the soft material out of there. And yeah, that'll work, I guess. Give her a try. Unfortunately, we can't make it. We're just about there, but just not quite. So I've cleaned all this stuff off, and yeah, this ledge is fine to go up there till there. The problem is that stuff's all really crumbly up there, and I can't safely get around there. And if I make one misstep, I'm done. I'm dead. Down she goes. So we're not going to do it. But I will show you. I can give you a little peek inside. We're just not willing to take that last step that we have to take, eh? So we'll go up here. It's closer than I can get, so that's all we can do. And down I go again. You know, just a step or two from making it, but you know, not one step too far is what'll kill you. And possibly I could have made it, but the problem is I got to come back down. Well, that might not be so bad. I can just hug that rock and then hop over. Just a little too nasty. Not much, just a little. Yeah, there's a pretty cool sign, eh? This looks like maybe the main part of the kind of a terminal here, pretty close to the hoist level here. Lots of action here. Tunnels going in every direction here. Okay, so we're faced with a bit of a dilemma here. So this looks like we came this way, and it looks like we're going uphill, and indeed the water was draining back. But there's just like a big plug of mud here, so we're not going to get any more to drain. Now it looks to me that this is going downhill to where the light is there, and I really like to get out there and see where that is. So I'm hoping that, because it's not going down here, there's nothing we can do to make that go down anymore. So long as it's not over my head and I can make it through there, hopefully I could just go along there and drain it. I don't know, we'll see, I guess. Yeah, I don't want, if I get stuck in mud over my head, I'd be in trouble. I'd drown, I guess. But I don't think that's going to happen. I prefer it didn't. So we made her out. There's a couple of horseshoes right close to the end, but other than that, nothing really too exciting. Pretty deep water. A little bit more than my hip waders or my chest waders were designed for, so I had to do a little swimming. But yeah, you know, I just love this waterproof bag. You know, you have your cameras and stuff in there, and kind of helps you out. It's buoyant, and I didn't wreck no equipment or nothing. You know, I was almost to the end. I knew it was too deep, but I wasn't going to turn back. So now we just got to figure out where the hell we are.
Talk, cut to the chase. Time's running out, and they're using live bait. Streets infected.